Hey folks out there in internet land, this is Max Abramson, Libertarian candidate for president. As most of you know, I'm also a state legislator, and last week was the deadline, 2 weeks ago was the deadline to get all our bills in. I put in 15 bills, which is unusual for legislators, but I'll be paring those down for the week. But I thought I'd give you the update for my impression of what I think Donald Trump is doing with the media. I think that he's gotten a clever spin machine working for him, and he creates these scandals that kind of throws out there like a scandal grenade and lets them blow up in the Democrats' faces. Of course, he admitted at the national presidential debates that he was buying off Democrat politicians left and right, and would give them contributions of $100,000 or more to bribe them. John Stossel did a story on that where Donald Trump was buying off all these northeastern Democrats, and he would pay them to, use them in a domain to force some poor old lady off their land. I tried to put in a bill that would improve the definition for just compensation for takings of land. So either that wouldn't happen, or if it did happen, that you would get much more compensation. Twice market value plus all your moving expenses, legal expenses, lost business and whatnot. But that bill seems to be lost in the system somewhere, so I have to contact legislative services and see what happens. But this has been an abuse that developer Donald Trump had been engaged in. And not only did he admit it, but he admitted in several different interviews, and he admitted to buying off these Democrat politicians. So now he's taking yet another scandal of his and is now blowing up in Democrats' faces. All the, Vox, Guardian, Washington Post, New York Times, all the kind of Democrat-affiliated establishment Democrat pages, Daily Kos, of course, Communist Party USA, National Public Radio, listening to their news coverage of the whole thing today, and it was very, very heavily biased, and they were pretty clear. I think they finally admitted that they were campaigning for Democrats on the radio. That was New Hampshire Public Radio. Someone can get the audio recording for that where they admit to that, how saddened they were that this is not getting Trump. Trump admits in The Guardian that he pushed Ukraine for dirt on Biden. He didn't pressure them, apparently. He just asked them. I'm not sure if that's illegal or not. It's one of those big gray areas. So is that an impeachable offense? People are asking me that same question right now, and that's coming up in some of the interviews when journalists ask me. But now Trump is openly asking China to investigate the Bidens. Apparently the Bidens, that's reported in the Wall Street Journal, BBC, NBC News, Market Watch, CNN, CBS News, Washington Post, and now it's front page on all of my local papers. They're asking, why is he doing this? But of course, if you think about it, it's obvious why the Trump spin machine has done this. It's because Democrats are stupid. I'm a state legislator, and I have to be 100% blunt. Almost every Democrat legislator I know is either insane, evil, or stupid. You read any of these bills, it's all protectionism and cronyism and blocking competition in the markets, or no bid contracts and payoffs and subsidies and pay raises and government jobs that they give to their buddies. Very, very brazen about it. So in this case, there's a company called Crowdstrike, which is an internet security firm, and apparently there were some illegal, nefarious things done in Ukraine. They had some involvement with the Ukrainian government. Now the Ukrainian government's investigating Crowdstrike, but unfortunately Joe Biden's son is involved in that, and this could potentially, although Biden is currently polling highest against Donald Trump, as all these scandals brew and are coming to light, apparently it looks like Biden may have as many scandals and as much dirt on him as Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton. So my take on this is, I think that Trump set all of this up, or the Trump administration spin machine set all of this up intentionally. I think they've become very skilled at this. that they're 100% aware of all the nefarious dealings because Trump has been buying off Democrat politicians for years, so he's going to know probably better than anyone. He admitted he was even at Epstein's Island, I think, at one point. And of course, Bill Clinton was there 26 times. There's a recent scandal that came out on independent media, but not on mainstream media. They found the bodies of bones of countless children at Epstein's Island, and if Bill Clinton had been there 26 times, there's not much going on there. There's not a whole lot of water slides and Ferris wheels and whatnot, so you can imagine there's only one thing going on at Epstein's Island, and probably those scandals are coming back to the Clintons again. But the Hollywood pedophile rings, 10 years ago, this was viewed as a conspiracy theory of kinds. That they wouldn't even mock and ridicule it. They wouldn't even touch the story. Now this is all becoming front page news, and people are becoming aware that establishment Democrats are just a bunch of rich, politically well-connected people who are using the Democrat brand name to get their cronies in office, that this has been going on for a long time. At the state level, we've seen this, that the Democrats and RINOs are kind of one corrupt machine, and that they buy votes to get into office, where you've got cities where you've got 20-25% voter turnout. The only people turning out to vote are people who are getting paid off, top government employees, government administrators, school administrators. By the way, some school administrators are making $200,000 or $300,000 a year. Highest paid school administrator in the country makes $525,000 a year, and all they do is donate money to campaigns of Democrats and RINOs, Rockefeller Democrats and Rockefeller Republicans, and then they dole that money out, put it into those campaigns, and then those Democrats and RINOs turn around and put the money back into this kind of money laundering system. Money goes into campaigns, and the people getting that money turn around, and the Democrats and RINOs vote to dole out millions and millions and millions of dollars at the state level and billions of dollars at the federal level, and kickbacks and payoffs. And of course, the taxpayers who get hit with the worst of it are the ones who are crying the loudest. But if you're not voting every September primary, if you're not voting in the general election, and if you're not helping the Libertarian Party, especially in races where you've got entrenched Republican districts, where you've got all these corrupt RINOs running everything and the little good old boy network there, and entrenched Democrat districts where actual blue-collar Democrats can't win the nomination, can't get elected. It's all establishment Democrats there. That's where you've got to be voting Libertarian. That's where we've got to get people actively involved, paying attention, get people to turn out and vote, because the Democrats and RINOs are really crooked. It's just the tip of the iceberg. I think we're just now kind of getting, if this is the absolute top of the iceberg and here's the waterline, I think that the Trump administration is just kind of exposing it kind of at this level. But there's so much more. The billionaires and multi-billionaires, George Soros, Michael Bloomberg, Bill Ayers, Tom Steyer, that of the 15 billionaire oligarchs on the Democrat side, 15 billionaire oligarchs on the Republican side. Donald Trump, of course, is one of those people on the Democrat side, ironically. And I'm not sure that he's too worried if he does get impeached, because then it'll go to the Senate, and so much evidence will come out, and there's no way that the mainstream media can spin this to cover for Democrats and RINOs. There's no way they can cover this up. There's no way that they can just bury all of this. So it does take a long time to get all these scandals out. Some of the scandals in my town and in Rockingham County Attorney's Office, where the county attorney was forced out of office for embezzling $70,000, and the new county attorney who's in there now, her first act was to fire a whistleblower who was blowing the lid on corruption and abuse of power in the county attorney's office. We find these things, but it takes a long time. It takes a lot longer for the truth to get there. And the problem is now, yes, you have this higher turnover rate, but they always have more and more of these cronies in there. And, they're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel, I think. So I think if we can boost turnout, boost involvement, get people involved, especially in legislative politics, where you see some of the worst of it, just the cronyism, blocking competition in healthcare, pharmaceuticals, internet, insurance, all the bills that we keep coming up with to try to block a lot of the stealing and cronyism and whatnot. Several of my bills are just flat out opening up certain markets to competition, like my bill to open up broadband internet to competition, which of course the telecom lobby showed up and had that bill killed outright. But again, what's my take on Trump asking the president of Ukraine to investigate CrowdWatch and the Bidens? I think he just let the media follow this down a certain path, and now it's blown up in their face, and they have no way to put the toothpaste back in the tube. Front page of news is now he's asking China to further investigate, and I think that Trump and a lot of his supporters and insiders knew all along what they were up to, what the Democrats were up to, because they hang out at the country club, they hang out at the golf course. There are hundreds and hundreds of photos of Trump and Michael Bloomberg and the Clintons and all these other corrupt insiders hanging out with each other. And of course, they're going to be talking business, and they're going to be talking about all the different ways they've been stealing from the American people and using the political process and buying legislatures. Of course, Bloomberg and Soros and Tom Steyer have poured millions and millions of dollars into buying off the New Hampshire state legislature. And the worst part is they don't even live here. They live hundreds of miles away. Some of them don't even live in the United States. They pour obscene amounts of money into the New Hampshire Democrat Party and into the campaigns of rhinos and into Republican primaries and Democrat primaries to make sure that they get their buddies in. So it's absolutely imperative that you get involved in the process. It is really dirty. It is really bad. But cleaning up the process, it's possible to do it, but we all just kind of have to, I think, pull together and get a free market majority in Congress, get free market majorities into our state legislatures that will work to impeach corrupt judges. Don't let them have their lucrative pension if they get impeached for criminal wrongdoing. Don't let them double dip the pension and pay themselves twice for all the stealing, like the drunk driving cop who got smashed into a parked Kia and rammed that into a parked pickup truck and sent both the drivers to the hospital. And of course, he was a cop, so he basically got off scot-free, no time, and not only didn't get fired, he was able to use his sick time to get another full pension credit. And so now he's pulling like $6,000 a month for life, plus generous medical, dental, and everything else for life, and a full pension that he never has to worry about. And then he can probably pull Social Security, $2,000 a month of Social Security on top of that when he retires. And absolutely no consequences. The whole good old boy network, Democrats and rhinos, they're totally corrupt. And we need your involvement, and this is just one more scandal. If you want to help clean the process up, that means getting involved in legislative campaigns, because that's where a lot of this starts. That's where a lot of the people you see up on the debate stage, Democrat debate stage, Republican debate stage, they got their start. That's where I got my start. And there are 511,000 elected positions in the country, and you can run for local office too. And once you're inside, you'll see who the crooks are, and you'll see them trying to slowly work their way up to the top, and you can stop them. Please get elected to local office. Please click like and subscribe, and leave your comments down there in the comment section, and let people know what you've seen yourself with the police department, corrupt judges, the school district administrators, teachers union officials covering up for drug use, beating, rapes by school district employees, and giving teachers their jobs back after they've been caught committing felony level crimes in the school itself. Things that you've seen yourself, please put those comments down there and let the rest of the world know, and please share this video. Thank you.